I'm just going to say it. Raising kids in the suburbs where you're the minority is some bull. And I get the goal is to have the best opportunities, the best school, the best education. But honestly, at what cost? Because while as a parent you're worrying about their academics and opportunities, kids just trying to fit in. And they're looking around for ways to connect to other kids. What do we have in common beside our address? Maybe it's hair color or eye color. Maybe it's language. Maybe it's anime. Maybe it's gender or music. And that's all fine when they're young. But as they develop pre-adolescence, when they start really seeing themselves and trying to figure out who they are or who they're becoming, it becomes a little more complicated because they start noticing certain dynamics and they start feeling marginalized. Always on the fray of a thing, but not in the mix of it. Sleepovers where other moms know each other better than your mom know any of the moms because they hang out or they go to the same synagogue or the same church. And then there's the biases, conscious or unconscious. I mean, your kid might be really good at the sport, but the dads that hang out together kind of look alike, and so they tend to pick each other's kids as top kids on the team. Or your daughter or son never gets a solo in a dance performance, and you don't want to pull out the race card and say that's it. But you might feel it in the pit of your stomach, though. And if you don't have a community for your child, the struggle is real. Because they really feel alone, fighting for their lives, trying to figure out who they are. Self-loathing starts. They just want to fit in. You know, one of the things I noticed is when I went back home to the hood, and yeah, the area looks depressing, the buildings are dilapidated or whatever, but going into the store, there is a real sense of community amongst my own that I didn't notice before. Like the way that we just organically talk to each other in the aisles, calling each other baby, ma'am, sir, honey. Like if my boys were walking around in the store in the hood, somebody else's mom is going to call them baby. Baby, can you pick that up for me? Honey, can you get that over there? Ain't nobody in Wegmans calling my sons baby or honey. And it's a subtle thing, I get it, but it's connection and it builds a sense of community in ways that you don't even think about, because if you're in mostly white spaces, white kids are getting that all day because they look like somebody else's son or daughter or nephew. And so they may be getting that kind of constant nurturing within their community from random strangers all the time. And so they're in a community that's constantly building their self-esteem, constantly encouraging them in some way. And I got a bone to pick with other black moms in these communities. Like if you're in the suburbs, and there's about 3-4 of us in a huge community, we're just peppered into the neighborhood. Why aren't we speaking to each other? What is with the wave and keep walking if we do? Because other ethnicities unapologetically get together in the playground, on the corners, start hanging out together. I think we're afraid to look like we're about to start an uprising.